Welcome to another episode of Clear Lake Connections, where we talk to the people behind the businesses of Bay Area Houston, proudly sponsored by UTMB Health. Today I'm joined by three officers with HPD's Clear Lake Division. Would you go ahead and introduce yourselves, please?
Yeah, good morning. I'm Officer Christopher Castillo with the Houston Police Department, Clear Lake DRT.
I'm Officer Michael Ochoa with the Houston Police Department, Clear Lake Division, DRT Division as well.
Officer Johanna McWilliams, Houston Police Department, Clear Lake DRT Division.
And so, I think a lot of people forget that you guys are there. Tell us about, your community involvement and what you're doing to make sure there's a presence.
We're a specialized division. We are DRT. DRT stands for Differential Response Team, and what we do is we tackle issues that affect the community. Basically, our job is to work hand in hand with the code enforcement and just investigate nuisance properties where we know that they could be a haven for criminal activity that occurs, on a daily basis. We take the one step further by not being a patrol officer, where the officers are just run from call to call to call. We take that initial step and try to solve the problem in its entirety to eliminate the complaints for that area.
Okay. And what are some of the major complaints you guys receive that you have to work on?
Some of the major complaints that we get are for example, high grass in some neighborhoods, overgrown trees. That's more on the residential side. As far as commercial side, we do the game rooms, illegal game rooms with the slot machines. We inspect convenience stores. We also do the hot topic right now is the after-hour clubs. We do that as well. And I'm trying to think of the other thing. I can't remember. What is it?
Trespassing.
Trespassing as well. We also do homeless outreach. Not to the great extent as our homeless outreach team does, but we try to do what we can in the Clear Lake area, provide resources for them, and then refer them to our hot team, see if they can provide them resources more in the downtown area.
And so how did this team form?
Well, that team's been around for several years. I mean, I've been with the DRT squad. This is my 11th year, so I can't give you different years, but I know it's been around from when community policing was a big hot topic for the police department, probably in the mid-'70s, late '70s. One thing that we also that Michael forgot to add was those properties that are abandoned in the neighborhood. They become a haven for criminal activity, and we also have issues with squatters. People going there. We take that initial step to investigate who the true owner is and take action and enforce all the city ordinances that are on the books. Now, we also work with code enforcement, and one of the jokes that we have in our office is we're code enforcement with a gun, basically. But the good thing about being an officer is that once we go in there under the code enforcement aspect, we're also police officers that we can tackle anything that we see in plain view that would be illegal. Some of the cases that I have experienced in my 11 years is doing this is that we get complaints where houses have been run down and taken over by gangs, or there's haven for narcotics complaints coming out. We go under the aspect with code enforcement from the Department of Neighborhoods hand in hand to tackle the issues. Now, Mike said high grass is one of them. An abandoned vehicle may be another, or broken windows, or unsecured property, whatever the case may be. We go under the aspect of investigating that, but at the same time, we're also police officers to investigate what other things may be occurring. So, in hand, working with them together, we take that extra step to try to, like I said, eliminate the problem that persists in the neighborhood.
It's very proactive policing.
Very proactive policing.
And so you have an interesting story. How did you get into becoming a police officer? Because I know you have a chamber connection.
So I worked at a chamber of commerce, two different chamber of commerce for about 16 years. And just like this chamber of commerce, we wanted the board to be reflective of the community. Everyone has a different vantage point. So we always had the police chief or an officer or lieutenant on our board. I started doing ride-alongs and getting to know them, and I realized I had a heart for it. I made the switch in 2020.
And did you join the DRT unit right away?
No, I've been on DRT for about 4 or 5 months.
Okay. And so you've been at this 11 years, and how long have you been on DRT?
I've been on DRT for a year, but I've been with HPD for 7 years.
So you've seen some changes over the last 10, 15 years in this area, haven't you?
Yes, I have. I mean, the one big thing now, that just like Michael said a while ago, is the after-hours club. It's becoming a real big problem citywide, not in the Clear Lake area, but citywide. And we have a couple of clubs that are unlicensed that are currently in the Clear Lake area. And I would like to add, Joanne, who's just fresh into our team, did an outstanding job on this last operation, from doing all the assessment, doing the backgrounds, to doing all the paperwork, to even filing the search warrant for us to get in there. In my past experience in working with these after-hours club, I've just been hitting with simple municipal fine after fine, but these clubs would find other ways to prolong the justice system, meaning by doing a reset in the court system and just waiting for us to either be on vacation where I can't show up to court to contest, do my part to help prosecute for the offense. But this new approach, because it's becoming a widespread problem. And I this last operation was just, in my experience, was the first time ever, because it was all new to me. It was never explained to me in the training as it was, and I really enjoyed it because it opened my eyes of new options to try to eliminate the problem firsthand. And Officer McWilliams did an outstanding job in getting everything set up, from doing the plan of action, from, like I said, from establishing and authoring the search warrant.
Yeah, I think there's a misconception that the suburbs are immune from the types of things that are happening in the city. Tell me, how connected are they? Because I after hours clubs, I wouldn't have guessed, not in this area, but they're obviously there. What other kind of things that people would normally consider kind of inner city problems are we experiencing in this area?
I would say illicit massage parlors. Growing up in this district and working for little towns, Chamber of Commerce, and getting to work with the best of the best, you want to think that everybody's upstanding, but the illicit massage parlors, the after hours clubs, they're there. They just kind of operate under, I guess, the dark of the night. They usually know the codes. They usually know how to work around, to circumvent patrol. So that's why our team exists.
And then, so what are kind of the hot spots in our area that you're seeing the majority of? I know, like, there's some areas along El Camino Real that kind of have changed over time. And so what are some of the areas where you're seeing that?
Well, I'm noticing the homeless problem is up and down the I-45 corridor. We've taken action to try to eliminate that by offering outreach and other alternatives to get them to move from the area. But unfortunately, it seems to be moving into the neighborhoods. And what we're finding more, and it becomes more difficult to do our job, is that when they move into an abandoned home where they become squatters, it makes our job more difficult. We can't just go run up and say, hey, you must vacate. We need to find who actually is going to take responsibility for the ownership of that house. And sometimes those investigations they're very lengthy, because either the person has become deceased and we can't find the next of kin, or anybody else that may have interest in the property, even if it's an estate. It just makes it more difficult to track someone down. And then when we do, even to get them on board to tackle the issue is another task in itself.
So what would you want the public to know about what you guys do on a daily basis?
I would say pay attention to what's going on. If you see something that's not normal, let us know. Our team does have the time and the resources to kick back a little bit and actually investigate. Patrol, they answer 911 calls, they're dispatched, call after call after call. You'll see them after their shift ends, even finishing reports. Whereas the next day we come in, we can continue that work until it's done, like Officer Castillo was talking about. So if you see something that's going on, let us know, get it to our team, and we'll be able to investigate. A lot of times if it goes to patrol, they'll kind of hit it the best they can for that time, and then dispatch is already sending them somewhere else.
So how do they reach you guys? Do they reach you directly, or,
Well, they can call the station they have a 24-hour line that's answered. And just when they answer it and just say you want to be transferred over to one of our extensions, a DRT officer basically is what you need to ask for.
Okay. And
we'll take it from there. Just to piggyback on what Officer McWilliams was saying, is that another issue is these abandoned homes. Especially up in the Edgebrook area, we're finding more and more of them becoming vacant, neglected, and the homeless are seeing that as well, and they're taking upon themselves to move right in. But just do make the call, get involved, let us know, and once we get these calls to be investigated, we ask that you have patience, because it's something that just cannot be done I wish it could be done like in Hollywood. Get the crime done at the beginning, and then by the hour it's all said and done. It doesn't work that way.
Yeah.
One particular case that comes to mind is over on Hines Street up near the Edgebrook area, where we did have squatters. That case in itself took us almost a whole year to track someone down to take responsibility and say, I want these individuals to be vacated, evicted, the right way, and then for them to take action to secure the property. The case in itself took over 2 city abatements where the city came in and actually cleaned up the property. Clean up, they moved right back in, didn't solve the problem. We had to take it a step further to find the owners to actually say, hey, I want this done. And to this date, the new owner, the next of kin, paid what was due on the taxes, and has taken upon themselves to go either to renovate, flip the house, or to get ready to sell. But the long story short, there's no one living there anymore. It just took us so much extra time. And when these calls come in, we ask that everybody just have patience.
So most of these cases are probably where the homeowner died and it's in probate or
Right.
moving along. Okay.
Let me just say this. I know you had asked how could the people reach us. We host a monthly PIP meeting every month. We just moved to a different location. Now we are at Grace Church. It's the 3rd Monday of every month. For there we have it's a 1-hour meeting. We tell people what's going on in their area. So for the Clear Lake Division, because our district is from Bay Area and 45 all the way to Airport and Monroe. That's how big.
Wow.
That's how big our district is. So in those meetings, we educate people. Hey, this is what's going on in your area, hotspots, the crime trend, and then we tell people kind of like, hey, this is what DRT did for the month, along with our other division, the crime suppression team. They're more plainclothes. They explain a big arrest that they made. And then we open it up to the public as well. Like, hey, do you guys have any complaints? The more people show up, the more work it helps us, because we try to help each other.
It's a great level of transparency, and so people just need to know that that's available.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's the 3rd Monday of every month at Grace Church.
Grace Church. The next one's June 16th at Grace Church at 6:00.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, that's good to know. I mean, that's a big area for the Clear Lake Division
Yes.
to have to patrol.
And DRT has 3 officers for all
This
that
is the
area.
entire unit.
This is the
Okay,
DRT.
you're
it.
Okay.
This is it.
So you guys are obviously heavily invested in the community,
Mm-hmm.
focused on it. What are some of the ways that you're engaging with the community outside of obviously policing?
So we do community out, like you mentioned, was community outreach. We go like career day at schools. We try to get kids to like, hey, police officer. We hand out sticker badges. We show them the police car, show them a cool job that they could have in the future. One of the recent things that we did was around like Halloween. We host trunk or treats at our different areas in the Clear Lake area, and then around the holidays this past year we did a little toy drive for one of the centers in the Clear Lake area that had huge success, and that's usually one of the things that we do. Anyone want to add anything else?
No, I mean, well, we also come out and do presentations when invited at these local civic clubs. Churches are always giving us a call as well. We talk to our seniors. We give out senior, safety tips. Try to, give them safety tips where they don't become victims either out and about doing shopping or even online shopping, whatever the case would be. Just stuff of that nature. We come out there, and we're always out there with the schools and the kids and stuff, on holiday season time and all that. We're also around the malls around Christmas time, reminding about safety, and always be vigilant of your surroundings.
So there's only 3 of you, but you're highly visible, is what I'm getting out of that. You're always out.
We try our best.
Trying
we
to
try
connect.
Our best.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Close to home for you is that we visited banks and credit unions and talk about jugging and how to prevent that.
Okay, yeah, excellent. Yeah, and that's a big thing going on lately. So what advice would you give to chamber members, small businesses? What are the types of things they need to be concerned about?
Well, one thing that Joanna said was always call the police. You have any problems, call us out, especially down here in the Clear Lake area. If it's not HPD, call Precinct 8. We work together. We always help each other out. They have a little bit more resources to help on the local level here, but we always help each other out. Always report the crime. Don't just be like, well, I'll just let it slide under the rug. Always reach out to us. That way we can help each other out.
Well, and it helps overall because if you start seeing trends and patterns, that's where you guys come in, and you're more likely to be able to address those.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Well, another thing that we do is the trespass affidavit. If it's a business and they start seeing people hanging around the front, coming inside, and they don't want them there, both us and the constables have trespass affidavits. You can have those signed. That way, at the middle of the night, if someone's sleeping on their front porch and doing drugs on their front porch, drinking on the front porch, we can take police action because there's a trespass affidavit in place. So those are proactive for businesses to take care of and file with our department.
Excellent. Excellent advice. Well, thank you for coming. Appreciate you and the job you're doing, and we appreciate it.
Well, we thank you for inviting us to get our message out, and like Mike said, we would like to have more participation and come to our meetings, get to know us one-on-one, get to see the presentations, and get to know what DRT does, and you also get to meet some of the patrol officers that work and patrol your neighborhood.
Yeah.
And if you don't want to be one of those persons that want to raise their hand and ask a question in front of everybody, we don't rush you out right after the hour meeting. We'll stay and talk to you one-on-one, answer any questions, and if you do have that complaint where you just want to remain anonymous, we can do that as well.
Excellent.